If too many other gyms around you are doing it, then you want to do something different. Do that competitive analysis and see what's going on around. How can you make yourself stand out? Why does somebody want to come to your gym over somebody else?
Look at your clients. I mean, what are problems that they typically have? Give people ways to overcome the obstacles they might be feeling. Whatever your niche market is, it doesn't matter if you have your kid gymnastics studio or your CrossFit studio or mixed martial arts, doesn't matter what it is think about a guide that would attract your ideal client to you.
Be more emotional where everyone else is being logical. I tend to see our industry tends to skew towards, we only do X minute sessions. We have X amount of square feet. No one gives a crap how much square feet, but gym owners love to brag. We have a 10,000 square foot gym. Who's ever bought a membership because of the square footage number, right? All you're just benefiting about you, and you're not tying it to the client's emotions and how they feel, right? Make your ads a little more emotional driven.
This is the Reinforce Your Gym podcast with your host, Dustin Vogel. This show is about arming gym owners with the tools, strategies, and lessons they need to take their business to the next level. That way, they can make a greater impact in their community. Now, let's get to work and reinforce your gym.
Welcome, gym owners. You are here for another episode of the Reinforce Your Gym podcast, and we're glad to have you because today I think is going to help a lot of gym owners that are in a tough place, and today's episode is about lead gen in those tough markets. So if that is you and you feel like I'm in one of those and I need help, this is the one that you want to definitely be prepared and take notes. I'll even start by saying, as a gym owner that had multiple locations, I had some that were in easy markets and it was just like super cheap leads. And it was like a faucet I could turn on at any time with my marketing and get leads. And I had some that were in that middle, and I had some that were very difficult. In fact, one of them, I spent $700, I remember, on Facebook ads and I got one lead. So how's that for CPL? $700 cost per lead. Beat that, tough market, wherever you are. I don't think you have that, right? So I've seen the gamut myself, but I also know, and all of us have coached gym owners in various markets. And that's the one thing you can't foresee when you're opening a gym. No one really gives you that pep talk of like, hey, before you go and you do all this work, you should really take into consideration what your marketing is going to cost you. And I've even, warned owners that I said, hey, now me knowing what I know, if I were going to open a new location, and because one of my main marketing strategies is Facebook ads, I would make a bogus Facebook page, call it Dustin's Boot Camp, Dustin's Gym, and I would just run ads in that area and just see what my cost per lead is, right? And it's like a pretend gym. Again, ethic-wise, say what you will, but for me, I'm going to spend so much money, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this venture. For me to throw $500 to $1,000 and kind of dupe people to opt into a fake gym, I think is pretty harmless for the amount of work that I'm about to put in. So I'd like to know that on the front end. And I think a lot of gyms can save themselves a lot of pain if they just did that small test. So that's my crazy idea to kind of like preface as we go into this. But what we're going to do is we're going to share with you guys things that we've done when times have been tough in our own markets, or ideas that we pass on to other gym owners who have told us they're in tough markets, and we can see it by looking at their numbers that they run side by side the same offer, but theirs have higher CPLs, right? And so it's just, when we look at the map, they have way more gyms than the other gym, right? And so it's like that is a real thing to consider, right? Like you can't just ignore competition, especially if everyone's all running ads to the same eyeballs. So today's podcast episode is all about like helping you, the person who's in a competitive area, a tough market, a place where you feel like, you have a hard time getting a lead. We're going to crack that. We're going to bust that with these tactics. So Jason, I'm going to throw the hot potato to you for conversation, and I'm going to let you kind of kick us off with some strategies that you see work well in tough markets.
Yeah, I was just thinking, man, I hope that $700 lead was a paid in full. Hopefully they paid you for your service. So hopefully you got your ROI on that one lead. But yeah, like you said, every market's different. It's crazy how how we do with our digital marketing. It's crazy how we can see, like you said, one ad or one CPL is so much different than other markets. And I think that's the big thing to remember. So I think that's what we're going to cover here today is like these things are going to basically ring true across multiple markets. It doesn't matter if you're a rural area, urban markets, things like that. One of the things that I hate to say mastered, but one of the things that we do a really good job with And our facility's always been, how do we run giveaways ahead of startup programs? And so it's really hard to kind of get the mentality of wanting to invest in Facebook ad spend for giveaways. But you got to make sure that we also stay out of that scarcity mindset, because when we look at how do we run giveaways, typically these will be ahead of a launch of like a 6 week or 8 or 10 week program, something big that you're going to build up to. That's when giveaways usually will really gain you the best traction. And so the biggest thing to remember is not really overthink the giveaway process, is really think about keeping it simple, but also making sure you're open to making the investment into in these 2 or 3 weeks of running, basically giveaway ads, because that's going to cost you. But you have to remember that these are going to be the first people that are going to actually buy the program in a few short weeks, because there's a few things that we do along the way. So I'm just talking simply like, hey, we're going to run a New Year's challenge, right? Like most gyms do, is we spend December, which is typically where people aren't buying many things on, fitness related, because they're Christmas shopping mode. So typically that's a great time in this example of just putting a bow, a kettlebell with a bow on it, giveaway for your gym, and just gather emails, right? That's all you're going to do, is just like a squirrel gather nuts. You want to gather as much contact information as you can. And then again, those bring in very, very cheap leads. Yeah. So yeah, we are running a giveaway. There's free, there's no commitment. So there's going to be high volume, which is okay. I know some people or some gym owners will say, yeah, I don't want that because it's full of leads that won't buy. But trust me, historically, we've run the data over multiple locations, over thousands of people that have opted in, is we typically see about 70 to 80% of people that then buy our challenge at full price came from the giveaway. We have the data, and I'm pretty sure that would ring true across other gyms that do it effectively, is simply run the giveaway. So we give away a free spot in the challenge. You can give away a free 1 month membership. You can give away the grand prize is maybe a free year membership. We always want to make sure you have something that's a super high cherry on the top. And so that'll gather as many emails. So you can gather a couple hundred emails, no problem. So there again, we got the emails, and what do we do with them? Is making sure, it's kind of like a 1A here, is making sure that we nurture them along the way. So we don't want to gather a lead on December 2nd, leave them cold, and hope they buy in mid-January. So we want to make sure that we spend some time also crafting what we call a nurture sequence, right? Is tell them, introduce yourself, share some transformation stories about how clients overcame hero stories, talk about clients that overcame situations they might feel. And so you really have a few weeks to really have them drink your Kool-Aid, get to know you. Think of this as the time you're dating that lead, right? So we get to talk to them, show them proof. We're not pitching, we're not selling. It's just a courting process. And so then when we go to and open up like an early bird discounted price for the challenge, those are the first people we're going to go to, because we've warmed them up. And so, like I said, we have the data where a good majority of our sales are going to come from that. So giveaways are a very, very big tool to use on. So typically, like I said, think of those, if you do like maybe you do like 3 big challenges a year, think of making that small investment on the front end for paid marketing to do giveaways. So there again, there's a paid aspect to that, but then you can also promote that all organically too. Email your list, post on your business Facebook page, have your coaches share, your staff, like whatever it takes, is get that giveaway link out there in that community as much as you can. And like I said, you'll get cheap leads. Dustin, I know you've probably seen $3, $4, $5 leads. Ahead of our challenge here, I mean, we're doing $3.50 a lead. I mean, we'll take that all day. But Dustin, I mean, you've seen that, right? On the
Yeah,
cost per lead.
to kind of like call out even a layer inside of that giveaway is that doesn't mean like prizes. Like we're not saying give away a coffee maker or a mountain bike. The closer it is to what you're going to sell them, the better. If I own a mountain bike company, I'd give away a mountain bike, and then all the opt-ins I can then sell a mountain bike to. So like we sell fitness, so I'm giving 5 spots into my 6-week challenge. I'm giving a 1-year membership away. People who want to win that, they're basically signaling to you, I want a fitness membership. I want a fitness program. So then when you offer a sale and you say, hey, you kind of got the runner-up prize. You didn't win the main prize. These people did. We do want to actually give that away. But everybody else, you got second place prize, which is early bird pricing. We're not even releasing that to the public. It's just to you who entered this giveaway. That rubs them the right way and makes them want to get their wallet out and sign up. And so you've got to add urgency. You got to say this will end on this date. And so get in or get out. And then you go public, and now you sell at full price to everybody, right? So that's the method to the madness. The part that like irks owners is that it is a slower, longer sales cycle. I want the lead to buy now, but we are preaching this often on this podcast. You guys got to think in terms of years, not in terms of days. Like you signed a 5-year, 7-year, 10-year lease. Like you're not going anywhere. And I know you're antsy and you want to grow it now, but I would really encourage you, like, this is the right way to get a good person through your doors that's going to stay long term. And you're leading with value. You're giving before you get, which is how the world works, right? So like we need to learn to be patient and see that. But yeah, anything else you want to add on the giveaway, Jason, before you, I guess, share your next tactic?
Yeah, I mean, giveaways kind of lead into what I was going to cover next is what we call our lead magnets, right? So, I mean, that's what we call that. It's very, you see these a lot, within our niche, within our industry is as a lead magnet. So anything that's going to attract a lead, right? Obviously, that's what we get the term from lead magnet. So all you got to do is look at your clients. I mean, what are problems that they typically have, right? So just make some kind of guide, some type of PDF. You don't have to be overly creative. A free Canva account, spend a little bit of time on there and just give people ways to overcome the obstacles they might be feeling. So they could be a little tongue in cheek, but there again, they could be a little more serious. So like you could have mobility guides, or you can have a fit over 40 guide. And so these are things that you can obviously pay to promote, but like I said, you can also promote them on your email list. You can promote them organically. But it's the same thing. But there again, you don't want to just post and say, or just have an ad and say, hey, click here to download my free guide. You want to have a little bit of a wall there. And so that wall is you have to get their contact information and then send them the PDF or send them the guide. So whatever your niche market is, it doesn't matter if you're a kid gymnastics studio or you're a CrossFit studio or mixed martial arts, doesn't matter what it is think about a guide that would attract your ideal client to you. And then we gather that information, right? So name, email, phone number, hey, Dustin, where can I send this guide, right? I know you just turned 40, right? So, hey, guys over 40, like, what do we need, And so put that in a guide, and then there you go in email gathering mode. And so CPL is going to be very low. Those leads are going to be very cheap. And then you're coming with the given hand, right? And so now you have a warm lead that you also put into that nurture sequence. And then there again, you get to talk to them more and more and more. You start that courting process with them. So law of reciprocation is huge in the world of what we do. And so we come giving, giving, giving. We always are going to have the right to ask. So when the challenge sales do open, early bird registration does open, or that Fit Over 40 program does start, you would now have the relationship capital to go to them and say, hey, now this is open. Now they're going to see you in a much better light. Rather than me just like I say the sales hammer, like I don't want to take the sales bat, start beating on my list over the head. I want to come with value. And so this way I've earned the right to give them a call to action to see how we, solve their problems. But so lead magnets kind of go right in vein with giveaways as far as like just cheap lead gathering. And that's going to be your warmest leads to sell to very quickly long term. But there again, you have that little slower play, but they're going to be your highest value targets to, actually buy from you very quick.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd add on there is like keep your lead magnets, especially because we all sell fitness, brick and mortar gyms, keep them fitness related. I would say your nutrition guides, keep those as member gifts and bonuses because we have looked at when we gave a nutrition lead magnet out, the conversion into fitness was really low. So again, we put the wrong bait out to catch the fish. I actually see the opposite. If I see an online nutrition coach, they're giving out tons of nutrition guides. They're not really giving workout guides because they want to bring them in with the mindset of nutrition, right? So like follow that path, follow that client journey. And so I wouldn't put out recipes or meal plans or any of those types of nutrition, Costco shopping list guides. You're helping them with the problem that's way outside of what they're going to end up paying you for. Keep it close to the main problem that your membership solves, right? So it's like, I like they said, Fit Over 40, mobility, for working professionals that have desk jobs all day and tight backs, flabby firm up guide. When you get older, your arms start getting flabby, ladies. Like, let me give you a guide. And it's, guess what? A bunch of resistance training. And that's what you do at the gym. Do you want to do these dips on your own and these tricep movements and push-ups? Or do you want to come into my gym and I'll help you with it? And so that's the line you're trying to draw with that lead magnet, right? So anything else you guys want to add on lead magnet before I share a couple?
Actually, there's a guy I follow. He's in the Southwest. I think it's in Arizona, and he's a 50 and over gym. And so he came across him on his email list, and so again, he has the perfect backswing guide, right? So his clients are over 50.
Nice.
A lot of them are retired.
Very
They do a lot
nice.
of golfing right in the Southwest. So his free magnet was how to make your golf game better. And so I was like, bam, that's exactly what he was doing. He's attracting that generation 50 and over, early retirees, still very active. They want to be golfing, all the stuff that they do, right? And so that was a perfect lead magnet. So there again, kind of think of what your members or your target audience, what are their activities? What do they want to do? Whatever it is, get in the mindset of your client and then show them how to be better at it. And then lead magnets will come easy.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Some other lead magnets. Now you got the wheels turning, like what do people do in everyday life? Mobility and functional movements and things like that. That was a conversation I had with a first timer at my gym earlier this week. And, movements that we do in the gym are going to help you with your everyday life, how to properly bend into a cabinet without throwing your back out. So those are some good lead magnet ideas also, that pair in alignment. But I love what you're saying, Dustin, is like pair in alignment with what it is your main service that you do, because you are right. Those are the people that you want to attract. You want to give them a little bit of info and then have them, look at you as now the professional in their area that they want to come to for that.
Yeah, yeah. Like you want to solve, like you want it to almost be like my membership is I solve all your problems, but my lead magnet is I solve one micro problem, right? Like you're immobile. Here's a guide on immobility. But then when you come in, we're gonna have strength training and we're gonna have accountability and we are gonna have mobility and like everything gets solved here. So like break down almost all the little micro problems your clients have into little micro lead magnets. And, again, the easiest answer is just listen to the micro problems your clients bring up in the gym and just like, oh, that's a lead magnet. Ooh, that's a good, resource. So, yeah, I definitely think that's the easiest way to go about it. Kim, I'm going to actually kick it to you next. What are some good tactics for those tough markets on top of what Jason shared?
So mine go hand in hand with each other as well. And they tend to be the two things that people kind of forget about. This is something that I talk to about gym owners, that we talk to around the country, is doing a competitive analysis. So basically, we tend to be very, our own world focused, and we forget to kind of look up sometimes and look out around us. So when you're trying to figure out when you're in a tough market or any market really, and you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to run, what is that next challenge? What is that next offer? One of the best ways is what are the other gyms around you offering? Because oftentimes you will look around and you can easily go to the other gyms' Facebook pages. You can look at their Facebook transparency. You can see the ads they're running. A lot of people don't know that you can do that. Look at the ads that are popping up on your Facebook page because you're going to be getting those, those things in Meta and Instagram. What are the offers that they're running? And if you see that most of the gyms around you are doing maybe some sort of like in the new year, they're doing a kickoff challenge or they're doing a reset challenge. And these are great challenges. But if too many other gyms around you are doing it, then you want to do something different. Make yourself stand out. And you could do that a couple different ways. So number one, what is the name of the offer? Call it something totally different that's going to make you stand out. Going in line with what we were talking about with lead magnets, name it something that people are going to gravitate towards. It's solving a problem that they have based on your age range of members or maybe your community. And also, what problems are they solving? What are they offering? So a lot of them will say the same: workouts, nutrition, and accountability. Well, if you lump yourself into that, you're not standing out. What else can you offer? What can you add to that? You can add to it by, can you offer additional services? I know this is something that the three of us have talked about many times. What additional services can you add? How can you word it differently? Or build a unique challenge. We have some great ones. Like if everybody's running a 6-week reset and you're doing a little black dress challenge or drop pounds, get paid, or if your market calls for it, like the one that Jason said, like a fit over 50, you're going to stand out from the people around you. So that would be the first thing, is do that competitive analysis and see what's going on around. And then how can you make yourself stand out from what everyone else is doing? Why does somebody want to come to your gym over somebody else?
Gym owners, I don't want you to have the reputation in town as the gym that doesn't call people back. All right. We know it's critical when someone's finally made a decision to get healthy and fit that we get to them as quickly as possible. This can be solved by plugging in our remote sales reps, okay? It's not AI, it's not a bot, it's a real human that's working on your leads, the new ones that come in from your ads and the old leads in your database. And they're there to qualify the leads, to ask them discovery questions and to make sure they're a good fit. And then their job is to move them forward in your sales process so that you get more members month over month. All right, if you want to learn about our remote sales reps, go ahead and go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call, and we'll tell you more about it. See you then. I love that. And the big thing that could also help you in that is to be more emotional where everyone else is being logical. I tend to see our industry tends to skew towards, we only do X minute sessions. We have X amount of square feet. No one gives a crap how much square feet, but gym owners love to brag. We have a 10,000 square foot gym. who's ever bought a membership because of the square footage number, right? We have the latest state-of-the-art equipment. All you're just benefiting about you, and you're not like tying it to the client's emotions and how they feel, right? Make your ads a little more emotional driven. Don't just give the title of a program and a price and a start date. Hey, when you get out of bed every morning, your knees cracking. Do you feel like your energy has dipped over the last 5 years and you need to kind of get it back up without caffeine and stimulants, right? So these are more of the real life problems people are struggling with. And if you could speak to that, they'll say, oh, this gym stands out because they get me. They don't have the craziest offer title name. It's just they get me better than the others. The others are trying to sell me time for dollars. These people understand what I'm going through. And so again, I just say use real talk on your ads. Don't use marketing talk, right? Like get real with people and then they'll be drawn to that. So love that tip. I'm glad you point out the page transparency because most people don't know that that's going on. And I agree. Like let's pretend 5 gyms are all running a 6-week challenge at the same time. People will then just naturally shop for the lowest price one, right? If all the gyms are telling you that they're offering the same thing, okay, well, who's the cheapest? And people, when they're trying to be mindful of their spending and the cost of things going up, you can't blame them. So you have to break through in different ways. And so I like that idea of like, hey, let's do something else and let's, really try to stand out with our messaging and the way we package it so people are drawn to us over the others.
Yeah, and to kind of just comment quick before I move on is what you were saying before is it is so true. Getting people emotional. It's like when people are searching for a fitness solution, they're in pain. So what you're saying is exactly right. Bring them back into their pain, kind of remind them of that pain that they're in. Not that we're trying to hurt them, but we're trying to bring them back into that emotional state. They're already in pain. You got to kind of dig it out of them a little more. Remind them of that pain so that they will continue to seek out the solution to that. And then you're there of, hey, I'm the solution to this thing that you're struggling with. So the other one is remembering people get a lot of times really focused on the new leads and that's it, and the CPLs and the marketing. And we forget that we have other buckets. I always call them buckets of leads. So yes, we have our new hot leads that are coming in off of our ads. I categorize in my gyms, anybody who has been in to my gym, they have maybe done one session or they did a trial, but they didn't make it to membership for whatever reason. So however many sessions they didn't make, I call them prospects. I'm going to market to them a little bit different. I'm going to reach out to them different than a lead who has never stepped foot in the gym before. So I'm going to offer my prospects different things throughout the year, as well as past members. So we have leads, we have prospects, and past members. Past members, obviously, we know who they are. They've been in the gym, they've had a membership, and then they've canceled for some reason. It was something that we used to do on a little more random basis, honestly, when we first started. And then as the gym has grown and I've grown wiser as a gym owner, we do it more of a cadence, and like a quarterly cadence is a really good one to be in. Is you want to make sure that you are doing past member reactivation campaigns. Whatever your current offer is, make it even sweeter for your past members or offer them a totally different deal that you're only offering to past members. And it could be, like a buy 3 months, get 2 months free, or depending on the time of year, whatever it is that you want to do, you can add additional weeks. You can say, we're running a 6-week challenge. We're going to add you in it. We're going to give you as a past member, no registration and maybe 2 or 3 free extra weeks, whatever's appropriate for your, for your business and the time of year. But do those past member reactivation campaigns because we all have people canceling every month. It's just the nature of the game. So if you did it quarterly, you're going to have the people that were earlier in the year who canceled, and then those people from those last couple of months. So quarterly is a good, kind of cadence for that. And I think, Dustin, you do it quarterly, as well for stuff like that. Yeah. The past members.
And we try to dress it up differently because, if you say, hey guys, we need referrals, and then 3 months later, hey guys, we need referrals, like people are going to start to get worn down when this happens 4 times a year. So my goal and my game that I play myself is like, how can I make this interesting and fun and not feel like a pitch and gamify it? So a couple of versions. We did a bingo card and we said if you black out your whole card, you're entered into a raffle to win a free month. Well, one of the squares was bring a buddy to a session, right? And so it's like, it was like a more, natural, organic way to sneak in a referral. We've talked about it on the show before, Friends and Family Week. Hey, opening up this whole week. Normally your friends have to pay, not this week. I'm comping them. And I always like to say, don't use the word free. Try to get in the habit of say, I'm covering the cost. I'm comping them because you are paying the coach's payroll. You're paying all the fees for them to come in there and use this facility. It isn't free. And so like, don't like people listen to you in terms of what you value yourself. So try to get away from using that. I'm comping your team. Everyone here gets a VIP pass. I'm the big shot. I'll take care of you guys. Bring your friends in. It's on me, right? And so like that is perceived as more high value. So friends and family week, bingo cards, and then you can just do a ticket system where for 2 weeks you open up that you're taking in referrals, and every referral they bring you, they get a ticket in a bowl. The more referrals, the more tickets, but the prize has got to be really fun. Like it's got to be awesome, something that they want. I mean, we've done Apple Watches, we've done TVs, we've done day spot, certificates, like things that are like 300, 500, $1,000. Like now people will refer to win that. But if you say, hey guys, I got a $10 Starbucks card, like no one's going to fight and try to bring you multiple tickets. So it's got to be really desirable. So those are just some ways that you
Yeah,
can
that's
mix
so
it up,
true.
right? So it doesn't get boring.
Yeah, that's so true for the referrals. We do some check-in challenges and things too, where we'll say bring a buddy. Like you can kind of double some of them up if it's a really slow time, where you can say bring a buddy for, and you're going to do this challenge with them. So you're covering the cost of that buddy, and you're doing an additional like check-in challenge. We've done stuff like that before. It's really slow times. You kind of want to double it up a little bit. But yeah, so past member reactivation campaigns, like I was saying before, coming up with a sweet deal for your past members to come back to the gym. That's you mentioned referral events. We have big success with friends and family weeks. And then, I know like switching it up. So I love that idea of switching it up, doing it a little bit different. So quarterly, you're doing referral events, but you're making them a little bit different every single time and, keeping everybody engaged. Because just like members are going to cancel on a monthly basis, you're getting new people on a monthly basis and they're going to have new referrals. So you have enough people. And I think that's what people forget about. They think, oh, well, if I keep running these quarterly, I'm not going to have enough people. But you do. You have enough past members. You have enough new members for referrals. So, just keep tapping into them. And those are some good resources that you can use and ways that you can get people in with the
Yeah.
people that you already have while you're also working on the front end of the marketing, gathering those new leads.
And to amplify you, like you're gonna always pitch the best because you're the owner, you're the most skin in the game. Usually you have the most repetitions as well in terms of like communicating and selling and coaching. Like you just stand way above your team. So train your team. Like this is something that gets skipped over. So like, hey coaches, could you just like announce it's friends and family week? But I would role play, I'd say, give me your pitch. We just finished the session, pitch it to me, and I want to hear them, and I want to arm them with more words and more ammo so they can do a better job, because then it will be a more successful referral campaign, right? So one of the things I always tell my team is like paint the picture so vividly clear that they can almost put a name on it. And so when I pitched Friends and Family Week, I said like, hey, who's that friend that buys all the diet books, that they got a Peloton and now it's become a hanger for all their clothes, or a treadmill, and they buy all kinds of crazy workout gadgets, and they get all the fat burning pills, and they've got tons of supplements, but they don't lose any weight, and they're just stuck, and they're like in this mental funk, and they're constantly telling you, like, so you're not being intrusive, they're telling you, man, I want to lose weight, man, this is the year I'm gonna get healthy, and you hear them in pain. Wouldn't that be great if this person can finally get the momentum they're looking for? What they need is a coach. I want to be that coach. So like, can you give me that person's name? Who's that person? They're like, oh my God, you just explained my cousin Emily or Maria. Like, oh my God, my neighbor Maria, she needs to come see you. So I made it so clear, the pitch, that like they knew exactly who I was asking for. I wasn't openly saying, bring somebody, bring anybody next week. You're doing a shotgun. I want it to be sniper shot, like super clear. Bring this person. I only want one. Bring this person to me, right? And so that really helped our Friends and Family Weeks work better. So help your team with that pitch, and then it'll be more successful, right? All right. Well, we're gonna move on. I got a few I'll throw in here. So I feel like I'm being repetitive because I just hit this recently, but I guess all teachers are repeaters. So my first one is, if you're in a tough market, you need to become 5 Mile famous, right? Maybe you don't have a lot of people that live in your area. So that means we got to be omnipresent on content. You got to be posting on Facebook and Instagram and getting in front of people there, and joining local Facebook groups and posting there. Also, be a guest on local podcasts. There's probably some, and they got very micro audiences. Even if they have 100 listeners, I would still want to be on the show, because that's 100 locals that I get to get in their ears, and it's really free advertising, right? So like inviting yourself, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that. Podcasts, like, to keep going every week, they need guests, right? And so like, hey, do you need another guest? I'm the owner of so-and-so gym. I'd love to be on your show. If you're needing guests, I would love to bring value. I'll educate your audience on fitness and nutrition. And I guarantee you can get a spot on there. It's actually a pretty interesting topic. We don't do something boring like tax preparation, like you actually have a cool topic people want to hear about. And especially if you time it at the times of the year where people have peak interest in fitness, right? We know New Year's, we can go into the summer, and then we know fall. It's a great time to do like a podcast tour of local podcasts. Again, 5 Mile Famous. And if there isn't, don't gripe, start your own. Say, I'm going to create the 5 Mile Famous podcast where everyone in my town listens to it. And I would really try to put the name of your city into that name of that podcast so that it does attract local ears, right? So that's part of my 5 Mile Famous idea is like, hey guys, you're in a tough market where you got to really dominate the media because the media dominates the minds, and create your local media channel, your social media, and get in front of people. And the best part about content is it never sleeps. People can listen to it at midnight. They can be listening to you while they're driving. And most companies are finding that content actually helps pre-sell people that they've spent before they even show up to a call 2 to 5 hours with you, listening to you and hearing you share your authority and listening to you explain, fitness concepts or nutrition concepts. And now they're like, okay, this person really sounds like they're good at what they do. And it's cool. They live or they work on the corner of so-and-so. I'm going to finally call them. And that's why, again, I keep hitting that because I don't see enough owners, hitting that content piece. So that'd be my first one. You're in a tough market, put some time into content. It'll go a long way. The second one would be for people who are in markets where you've tried a lot of paid ads and they don't work. I would actually tell you go with Jason's idea first of a giveaway. And while you're doing that, you do Kim's idea and pay attention to what other people are running. But then I would run what I call an offer split test, which is 3 offers at the same time that are very different from one another so that the market can tell you what they want. Because you lose time truly if you run an offer for 2 or 3 weeks, it doesn't work. I run another offer for 2 or 3 weeks, it doesn't work. It takes me 6 or 10 weeks to get done what I could have done in 2 weeks. So I would tell you run 3 very different offers. So it could be like a 7-day trial, a 30-day program, and an 8-week challenge, right? All have very different ranges of time, different titles, and I would just run them together to the same audience and just see which one gets the most favor, the most interest. And this has been helpful for areas that were like, man, we've tried 1, 2, maybe 3 offers and we're not finding one that works. Well, we don't want to keep doing this. We need to launch an offer split test. And so then we get faster feedback. So again, I know it feels a little messy because you're like, whoa, we got people opting into all kinds of things. It's pretty short. Like I honestly say run it for about 10 to 14 days. You're not going to get a huge amount of opt-ins, but like you're going to get enough that it gives you feedback. And then when you decide on your program, you can call all the leads who opted in and say, hey, we actually decided to go this direction. This is actually the offer we're running. Do you want it? Right. And so that way they do get to come on board eventually. So I know, again, that sounds kind of wacky. It sounds messy. Obviously, if you need us to do it, our agency can run it for you because you're like, I don't even know how to run 1 offer and you're telling me to run 3, Dustin. Well, again, we're getting a little advanced. I'll call that out, but it is something that we have done and it has helped us to crack a code in a tough market quicker and collapse time rather than wasting more time trying to do too much tests, right? And then the last one I'll just throw in here is like, again, a more advanced tactic. It's for people who know how to run ads. It would be to do retargeting and creating lookalike audiences. So if you go into Facebook Ads Manager, you can upload all your leads into a list on there and create it into an audience. And basically you can run ads to just that list. So if you have 3,000 leads, you can tell Facebook, just spend my money showing it to these 3,000 people. And that's it. And that's good because they're already warm. They've opted into something. That's how you have their contact info. So now you're hitting them again and you're basically reminding them that you exist and you're very laser focused with your ad spend. The problem is that like it can really start to increase frequency because you have very little people, right? Compared to how many people live in your town. Now you're showing up on your frequency, which is like how many times you show up on someone's feed and you're like, they say anything over 3 is too much. So now you're doing 3, 4, 5 time frequency. It's like, okay, now I'm burning out these 3,000 people. So I need to have other, types of people I'm showing ads to. So the other thing you can do from that, it's called a lookalike audience. Now you can take those 3,000 leads, you can feed it into Facebook. You could say, create a lookalike audience, and it'll pay attention to all the similar traits of those people you fed it. Where do they live? What are their age ranges? What are the things they tend to buy? And it'll try to find more people that are similar to them. And that's what's called a lookalike audience. You don't get their info, right? They stay anonymous, but you can tell Facebook to run ads to them. And that's powerful because now you just duplicated your list of 3,000 to say 9,000 people, 20,000 people, and they're all having some sort of similar traits to the original list you uploaded. That's powerful. Again, when you don't have a whole lot of leads, you can amplify it in this kind of like ninja way and get more people like your leads, right? And you can even do this with your members. You're like, I want more people like my members. They pay me. They're awesome. I love them. The problem is it's usually such a small list. You know, most gyms got like what, 200, 300 people. So it's usually not enough that Facebook can make a lookalike audience from it. So that's why I say you need to give them your lead list, and you can add your members into that. But that's, you know, another ninja tactic for, again, those tough markets that are really having a hard time getting leads. Upload your leads list and create lookalike audiences. Again, a little bit more advanced strategies were on my list. You know, starting a podcast, doing lookalike audiences, doing offer split tests. But we want to cover the range here, right? Everything from a beginner gym owner all the way to an advanced gym owner. It's been open 10 years and they need to crack the code. So we got you covered. But those are the strategies. Any final parting notes you guys want to give to a gym owner in a tough market that's just needing to get leads?
No, I think you kind of just hit it on the head with the last thing you said also. You know, because this is something that we've talked about even with my gym lately is like, so long as you've been in business, now you've already promoted to your town. How many people do you have in your town? How many people have come in and been members already if you're open for 5, 6, 7, 10 years? So starting with the basics, never forget them, still use those strategies. But then even if you're not necessarily in a tough market, it kind of becomes a tough market, you know, because
Yes.
you've already grown. So then using those more advanced strategies can really help in addition to your regular marketing is going and creating those other, you know, lookalike ads and things like that, or a lookalike list. So using kind of all of those, and obviously that's a advanced strategy. So you need a marketing company to do that. Obviously we could tell by the way you're talking about it, Dustin, you're familiar with these and how to
Yes.
put them together. So let us do that hard work for you.
Yes, exactly. And you know, it's funny you they even bring that up. Planet Fitness said that they know, you know, they want like thousands of members. They know that they're going to cycle through the town roughly every 3 to 5 years. You know, everyone's going to become a member and they're going to leave, and then they're going to come back when they get that, you know, fire of motivation, and they're going to leave, and they're just going to keep cycling through the town. They can't control the population, they can't grow the town, but they can certainly rotate through it. And once you have hit the town, you have to start getting good at then balancing it with reactivating old people because you've cycled through the town and you want to be getting new people. And that kind of becomes the dance. You know, again, I don't want a blanket statement, but to me, it's usually about 5 years of being open. That's when you kind of got to really be actively reactivating your old members again, you know, on a regular cadence. Jason, any other final tips you want to throw in there?
Yeah, I think this episode is really helpful. I mean, this can apply to so many gym owners. I think that the order that we kind of talked about things is kind of like the natural sequence. I mean, obviously, I talked about some of the simplest things with lead magnets and giveaway ads. I mean, Facebook lead ads for a giveaway is about the simplest thing that even like a
Absolutely.
novice gym owner can run on Facebook. And then all the way to advanced tactics that obviously Kim talked about, like referrals, and all the way up to like lookalike audiences with you. So I think this is perfect episode to keep. And then, like, where are you in your business? Like, where are you with your lead gen right now? And you can kind of pick up like where you're at. So if you're brand new, you don't know how to run Facebook ads at all, and you need some help with it, obviously, like Facebook lead ads, like I said, are the easiest thing to do. And then you can kind of listen to this episode and kind of, you know, have that escalation. There again, like Dustin said, if you're advanced and, you know, been in business for 5 or 10 years, you're probably in a more advanced strategy. So don't try to do everything that we talked about, like where are you at right now, and pick a couple of things that we talked about, like we're at with your business, and implement these things. All three of us have done it in multiple gyms. And so we got the data and we know it works.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, if you need help with your marketing, go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call. You'll be talking to one of us, and we'd love to help you grow your gym. So until then, we'll see you next week. Hey, gym owners, let's face it, you probably don't love digital marketing. You probably don't want to go into Facebook and load the ad up and think of ad copy and creatives and optimize it daily. Well, hand that over to me and my team because we're geeks about marketing and we want to flood your gym with new members so you can change their life. Let us do what we do best. All right, go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call. Don't bring the credit card. It's not a hard pitch. It's just a conversation to see if we're a good fit. Talk soon.